It is time for Wednesday night action under the lights in Soccer County as a pair of sides lock horns for the second time ever. It is Westchester SC hosting Greenville Triumph. Tonight's match is presented by Northwell Health. We say hello and welcome from the stadium at Memorial Field. I'm Sam Goldfarb. Here is your look at the USL League One table. A Westchester team that still sits just 2 points off the cellar, but very close to that playoff line. And Greenville, meanwhile, with results breaking their way of late, just 2 points from the top 8. A victory could take them into the coveted playoff places. Well, for Westchester, it was a prolonged winless run. 11 matches without a win in all comps, but they snapped it in their last league match at Ford Madison. It did not start according to plan. An early penalty found them down after just 4 minutes, but Prince Sadie pulling them back with this sensational strike, curling it just beyond the reach of Burns Shipman to power Westchester back into it. And from there, it went from good to better for the Golden Apple because J.C. Obregon bundled over in the area and then flashing his tenacity after the penalty effort denied, finishing it off to allow Westchester to take a halftime lead against the Grain. They were able to see that out and earn the 3 points. And our player to watch tonight is the man that kick-started that comeback in Prince Sadie, who has hit top form of late. 3 goals in his last 4 league matches. Dave Carton mentioning the blend of dribbling ability and technique on that left boot, causing defenses major trouble. On the other side of things, for Greenville and Rick Wright's side, they did go winless in 8 matches in league play, but they've managed to break out of that rut the last 2 games in all comps. Scoring 5 goals, they have put some of their attacking woes on the back burner, and it was really done by crosses and set pieces, hoping to carry that over here tonight. It's a Greenville side that is fearsome, 7-headed goals. That is half of their league goals this season. And this Rodrigo Robles strike in the victory over Miami last week in the Jaeger Cup, the pick of the litter. And our player to watch tonight is a man who contributed directly to 3 of those 5 goals. It is the new addition Toby Sims, who has been a revelation since joining from Harrogate Town on May 23rd. His blend of crossing ability and defending has been on full display, hoping to carry that over to the matchup with Prince Sadie tonight. Well, we are just about set for kickoff in the second meeting ever between Westchester SC and Greenville. Both squads jockeying for league position when we return next.
Being healthy means you can do what makes you happy with the people who make you smile. Health First Insurance plans connect you to care you can trust for a happy family and a healthy future. With Health First, it's all within your reach.
You expect Manhattan-level care, and you live in Westchester. With Northwell, you'll find it all right here through this store in Terrytown and this one in Katona, at Phelps Hospital and Northern Westchester Hospital. It's where you'll find a vast network of world-class doctors delivering everything from primary care to the most complex neurosurgery and cancer treatments. And it's all part of New York's most awarded health system, with every door leading to extraordinary care right here in Westchester. Northwell. Raise health.
Our tagline is welcome to Soccer County, not a town. And we want it to be a hub of all the soccer energy throughout the communities of this region.
As a first-year franchise and a club that's new, you know, these are landmarks in the history of the club that you want to really do something memorable.
I think it shows how soccer crazy this area is and how much passion there is about sports and just community in general.
For being a homegrown talent, you know, in my city, it means everything because my family, my friends, all my loved ones come to the game, watch me play, you know, and you know, I just try to put on for my city as much as I can.
We welcome you back to Westchester County as we get set for the second ever meeting between Westchester SC and Greenville Triumph. The rookies hosting the veterans here tonight at the stadium at Memorial Field. It's time to get a look at our starting 11, starting with Westchester, a team that is forced into a couple changes from last week's Jägermeister Cup defeat against Pittsburgh Riverhounds, but a big reintroduction to the side. Noah Powder is back after spending a number of matches with the Trinidad and Tobago national team during their Gold Cup campaign, but no Stephen Payne in the side after he was substituted at halftime of that defeat against the Riverhounds. No McGlynn as well. On the other side for Greenville Triumph, only one change from Rick Wright. He usually makes a few more than that. The change comes on the right flank. Ben Zakowski in. Siobhan Marsh not in the squad tonight. Of course, the man leading the line is the Golden Boot leader, and Leo Castro with 7 league goals. We are just about set to get things underway here from the stadium at Memorial Field. Should be an exciting one. The first time these two teams met, a 1-1 draw in Greenville. One of these sides hoping to get the upper hand in meeting number 2. And we are underway here from Westchester. It is a trip toward the playoff line. Greenville, of course, 3 points could take them into the top 8. For Westchester, it is about closing what currently is a 4-point gap between themselves and the coveted playoff positions. Sam Goldfarb bringing you all of the action. Should be a fun one between these two sides. A pair of penalties in the first meeting back in March, but now both teams with time to define their style of play and their best 11s. It is probably going to look much different than it looked back on March 8th. There is Dane Jackaman, who is back between the sticks after returning against Madison. Issues clearing here for Westchester, and Jean-Baptiste does get it away. Jackaman was terrific against Pittsburgh, made 3 colossal stops, which ultimately kept Dave Carton's side in the match after they fell behind just inside 15 minutes. Unfortunately, though, Westchester with very little going forward of note in that match, just 2 shots on goal. There is Rick Wright, the second-year head man for Greenville. Someone who continued the success built under the long tenure of John Harkes. Took them into the postseason last year before falling in the semifinals to Union Omaha. But this year, a bit more ups and downs. A team that went winless in 8 league matches prior to the victory over Chattanooga a couple weeks back. It has been a more uneven campaign by Greenville's lofty standards this year. They'll be hoping this recent run has alleviated some of those troubles. Early set piece for Greenville. This is where they excel going forward. It's still knocked about. Obregon will get to it. Well, for Greenville, we alluded to it. The long rut in league play, but the last 2 matches back on track. 3-1 come from behind victory over Chattanooga Red Wolves, and then the 2-0 victory, one that was pretty comprehensive against Miami FC in the Jägermeister Cup. That's actually taken them top of Group 6. The only League One team that currently leads their Jägermeister Cup group. So massive positive signs the last week and a half or so from Greenville Triumph. Just trying to carry that over to a road fixture here in Westchester. On the other side, Dave Carton, the first-year head man of Westchester SC, someone known for his progressive, attack-minded style, and finally turning that into a result in a national TV atmosphere at Ford Madison a couple Wednesdays ago. It was a massive result that snapped a prolonged winless spell, but the winless spell, in many's view, including Dave Carton's own, overshadows some of the very promising spells they flashed in those matches. Had leads in a large chunk of those games, just couldn't hold on to them, and the Madison result likely represents a progression in that regard, seeing out the entire second half with a 2-1 lead. Drac loses out here. And numbers now. This is Zukowski. Through on goal. An excellent stop from Jackaman. Still loose, and Jackaman equal to it again. A double save to deny Zukowski and Castro and keep Westchester level. You see Zukowski get free here. It's just a full lapse of concentration at the back. And then you see Jackaman stay equal to it. Castro bashing it into the area right at Jackaman in the end. And what a welcome return to form it is for the Loudon Loney. He went through his ups and downs and was dropped for a bit in favor of Andrew Hammersley, but the last 2 matches and change, he has put his stamp back on the starting spot. Guzin into Sadie, trying from afar. Got the wrong set of goalposts, but was not far off. No surprise this is end-to-end early on. That is the star man, number 3 in the blue and yellow. And Sadie, so dangerous when he cuts inside. Can really play on either flank. Tonight it appears he's on the right, so Toby Sims has been spared that matchup for the time being. Throw here for Greenville. Their aerial threat is what is most dangerous about their attack. They just opt to play this to Champa Herrera. Evans, stabbed away by Johnson. Castro battling for it. Falls rather comfortably for Dean Guzin, the Dutchman. In a multi-assist performance in that victory over Ford Madison. First Westchester player to log multiple assists in a match this season. Well, fans, the USL on CBS kicks off July with a hot showdown in the Championship Eastern Conference. Last season's final runner-up, Rhode Island, takes on Northeast rival Hartford Athletic on Saturday, July 19th at 4 p.m. Eastern on CBS. That is a massive regional rivalry in New England, a budding one since Rhode Island entered the fold last year. Should be a very fun affair on the CBS set family of networks, I should say. This is cleared out only as far as Pollock, well beyond Jackaman's reach. Evan Lee, one of the mainstays in this Greenville fold. Himself and Tyler Pollock, the only 2 players that have been at the club since the inaugural season. 2 of the first signings as well in club history, and they have been synonymous with Greenville triumph ever since. Drag. If you are just joining us, we welcome you into the stadium at Memorial Field. Sam Goldfarb bringing you all of the action. Westchester and Greenville in a relatively open affair early on, as Sadie is offside. Has certainly been one for the cameras, though. Both teams taking the initiative, trying to create chances. Of course, it is a Greenville side known for its possession-oriented style, especially under Rick Wright. It's also a Westchester team that seeks to impose its will on the match. So it makes for a rather entertaining setup. Neither team is going to park numbers behind the ball, at least for extended periods of time. This is an error by Jean-Baptiste. Robles is through. This is Rodrigo Robles, and Greenville is in front. Robles striking for the 2nd consecutive match and Greenville triumph with an early 1-0 advantage. Couple of early lapses for Westchester. Jackman bailed them out early, but not this time. Jean-Baptiste misreads the flight of the ball, and you see Robles just wins the foot race, puts his laces through it, and no real chance for Jackman. Tried to close down the angle and ultimately caught in no man's land. Well, the 25-year-old Spaniard, Rodrigo Robles, has picked up his goal scoring in year 2 with Greenville, a 3rd in all competitions, a 1st in league play, and a pure striker's finish, just clinical in front of goal. A Greenville attacking renaissance these last 2 matches and change has carried over into this contest in the early going. Robles joining the club after his 5-year college career came to a close at James Madison, where he was one of the better forwards in the CAA. And in his first full campaign with Greenville, beginning to pick up the goal contributions across the board. There is his first USL League One tally of 2025. An early stoppage here as well for Westchester. Unfortunate, familiar defensive woes rear their ugly head again, conceding in the opening 15 and now forced into an early alteration. An already depleted back line sees another man exit early, Andrew Jean-Baptiste. He is replaced by Bobby Pierre. That substitution presented by Benjamin Steakhouse, always a prime choice. Definitely a difficult break. A Westchester team that already is without Kemar Lawrence, who's played center back and left back this season. Of course, Jean-Baptiste in and out of the lineup as well. Connor McGlynn has missed the last match and a half. It is a back line that on paper was supposed to be very deep, but right now stretched quite thin and forced into yet another early alteration. Well, an early goal for Rodrigo Robles in the 9th minute separates these two teams. Robles, of course, converting on the sensational chip just moments after the restart in their Jaeger Cup victory against Miami FC on Saturday. Was one of the better goals of round 3 of the Jägermeister Cup. It's a much more routine finish, just puts his laces through it, and with Jackman way off his line, had no real chance at it. Bolaño snatching this back. Falls for Castro, now Herrera. Connor Evans. Terrific ball forward, stabbed away by Juan Palma. This is where Westchester's mettle will be tested. And of course, fell behind early against Forward Madison after just 4 minutes in their last league match. And they did manage to battle back despite being largely without the ball for the lion's share of the match. Now here, forced to chase again. Sadie. It's read well by Polak. Zakowski spraying it wide. Just overhits it for Robles, the goal scorer. His time there. Castro's through. Still loose. Robles shoved down in the area. No hesitation from the referee. And a chance to double the lead from 12 yards in a matter of moments. A nightmare start defensively for Westchester, goes from bad to worse. Bobby Pierre mistimes this header. It forces Jackman off his line. And then to prevent Robles from bashing it into a largely open net, Bobby Pierre just shoves him over. And this provides Chapa Herrera a chance to open his league account in 2025 and put Greenville 2 to the good. Jackman conceding his last penalty faced in the early stages of the Ford-Madison match. Does he have something better in his locker here? Herrera against Jackman. Herrera delivers. Just rolls it confidently into the bottom right, and Greenville off to a flying 2-0 start. There is no doubt about this spot kick from Chapa Herrera. You see, no nonsense, a clear violation against Bobby Pierre, who just shoves his arm into the back of Robles, and then Herrera, the simple hop step and slotting it into the bottom right. It's a Hazard-esque penalty, and it is a first of the year for Mr. Herrera in 2025. Chapa Herrera, the new addition last year after 5 years at El Paso Locomotive. What a story his career is. Someone who caught the eye of then head coach Mark Lowry back in 2018 on the regional tournament circuit while working construction simultaneously. Of course, got Mark Lowry's attention, and shortly thereafter, a professional contract with El Paso. Made 102 appearances there, and then finally made the move to Greenville after a long tenure with the club ahead of the 2024 season. Has been an invaluable part of Greenville's 11 ever since. More known for his deep-lying playmaking prowess. It's just a 5th career goal to his professional CV. Fans catch every heart-pounding moment at Westchester's home stadium at Memorial Field in Mount Vernon. 2025 season tickets are on sale now, offering flexible payment plans, priority access, discounts, invites to exclusive events, and much more. Don't miss out on an unforgettable season of fun, friends, family, community, and soccer. Visit westchestersc.com to become a 2025 season ticket member today. Just beyond the 15-minute mark, and Greenville triumph already 2 to the good. Rodrigo Robles and Chapa Herrera, 2 goals separated by just 6 minutes, feasting on a calamity of defensive errors for Westchester in the opening stages. For Westchester, it is another very difficult night in defense and has been exploited by a resurgent Greenville attack. Triumph team that during their 8-match league winless run at one point underwent a stretch in which they scored just 1 goal in 423 minutes. They burst out of that in their 3-1 come-from-behind victory over Chattanooga Red Wolves last Saturday, and they continued the positive trends, of course, this past weekend against Miami. It is now 7 goals in the last 2 matches plus 18 minutes here in the third. Herrera, one of the 2 goal scorers for Greenville tonight. Looking to thread it through again. Castro nearly managed to negotiate his way through the defense. Fans, the USL on ESPN2. Watch July 11th as West Coast rivals take to the field to fight for valuable Western Conference Championship points. Monterey Bay FC battles California rival Orange County SC Friday, July 11th at 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. Two-0 advantage for Greenville Triumph. Just inside 20 minutes, it was 2 goals in the opening 15 that separate these two squads. And for Westchester, outside of a couple forays forward, very little to show for any possession whatsoever. They've been overrun and picked apart by this Greenville Triumph side so far. As Robles is penalized for his challenge on Juan Palma. Both goals effectively coming off of defensive errors. Of course, the play that was misread by Jean-Baptiste, which ultimately led to Robles being through on goal, and then moments later, an errant back pass, which led to the sequence that ultimately resulted in the Chapahura penalty. It has left Memorial Field stunned and silent at the moment. Johnson. Westchester desperately seeking any semblance of a response the other direction. Since that opener, no major chances of note. And Obregon leaves this dangling for Polak. Herrera. Numbers in support. This is Castro. Leo Castro trying to carve out space. Ultimately a rather anticlimactic effort. Well, the Golden Boot leader at least making noise. He turns Juan Palma a million ways from Sunday and then just tries to pick out that far corner and is well off Jackaman's goal. But he is a walking danger man, 36 years of age, someone who's played football matches on 4 different continents in his professional career. And for those who are, well, footy nerds like myself, he has played for many years in the South African top flight. During his time there, played for Mamelodi Sundowns, who of course competed in this summer's Club World Cup before he moved to Kaizer Chiefs, and they themselves no slouch either in the South African ranks. He played for 2 of the top clubs in that country. Johnson. Here's Josh Drack, one of the newer additions to this Westchester side, joined from Charleston in May. Manages to negotiate through traffic. Ball was won cleanly according to our official. Polak. Sadie shrugging him off it. And now space to roam into. This is Sadie at his most dangerous. Just off the mark for J.C. Obregon. But Westchester will have their first quarter of the night. Well, he's clearly frustrated he couldn't latch onto it, but a chance for Westchester to change the match from this set piece. It is Dean Guzin to take with in-swing. It's towards the back post, marked well by Greenville. Cleared only as far as Palma. Sadie on the opposite flank now. Dances by one. Low cross. Stabbed away before it could reach Obregon. Castro. This is a more promising response from Westchester. Not accepting what's transpired just yet. There's a man shaken up on the far side for Greenville Triumph. It appears that may be Toby Sims, which definitely not a welcome sight for the Triumph supporters. He has been one of their best additions of the season on the right-hand side. Someone who's played a lot of football because he joined the club after finishing his EFL League Two season with Harrogate Town. Played 46 matches with Harrogate Town AFC over the course of this past season. Appears content to continue, though. Rankenberg with some issues clearing. Westchester trying to press their way back into this. No real mentions of Gunther Rankenberg, the Georgia State product, just yet. Year 3 with Greenville, and each season his role continues to grow. This year evolving into the regular starter after the departure of Christian Garner to Charleston Battery. And he has been relatively solid between the sticks, though definitely some questions entering this match tonight after the sensational efforts of Seth Torman, which earned him a Round 3 Team of the Round nomination in the Jägermeister Cup this past weekend. Here's a ball over the top towards Obregon. Tries it first time, and he did not miss by much. This is a terrific ball from Johnny Bolaños. It's right into the path of Obregon. It's decent defending from Fricky, who did get a boot on it last, it seemed. Will be another corner for Westchester. Guzin getting another crack at this around the midway point of this first half. Curling towards the back post. It's headed down. Obregon went down, and apparently he's the man that committed the transgression, according to our official Elvis Osmanovic. Fans, don't miss your chance to be part of history with Westchester's first professional soccer club. Season tickets start at just $18 per game, bringing you world-class action at an unbeatable value. Visit westchestersc.com to learn more and lock in your seat for the 2025 season. 2025 Westchester SC season tickets are on sale now. 2-0 to the good are the visitors at the moment. 2 goals in the opening 15 minutes from Rodrigo Robles and Chapa Herrera, but since that second, there have been positive signs from Westchester building the opposite direction. And you just wonder if they can claw back one before the break, how Greenville would handle that pressure. It's a Triumph side that is relatively sound defensively, but Westchester has proven to be an explosive attack at times. Powder. Quick turn from Guzin. Bypasses Herrera with expertise. Clever touch. And this is Sadie in plenty of space. Sadie cutting inside. Excellent stop from Rankenberg. Still loose. Back for Sadie again. And Brandon Fricky to the rescue. That is what the captain does best. Once again, more warning shots come from Westchester's side of the aisle. An excellent stop from Rankenberg here. You see Sadie cut inside, and this is where, as we've already mentioned, he is at his most dangerous. Just curls this on that left boot, trying to pick out the far corner, but read brilliantly by Rankenberg, who saw it the entire way. We've already mentioned his meteoric rise, someone who began his career as a rarely used backup, now the undisputed #1 for Greenville Triumph. Someone who ultimately did not wind up starting the playoff matches last year for Greenville. It was Christian Garner who got the nod, and all season, the two of them really traded the #1 spot. Frankenberg has handled his leap up into a bigger role this season with plenty of poise. Bolaños loses out. Chance for Greenville just to settle this down a bit. It's been a shaky segment the last 5-7 minutes or so. Bauman poking it towards Obregon. And the late challenge from Evan Lee draws the ire of Elvis Osmanovic. Bauman and Lee are still a bit shaken up after that coming together. Just a 50-50 here, no malice in it. See both boots go up. One trods upon the other. Ultimately, the referee is right to penalize Lee, but he comes off worse for wear. Johnson to take this. That is not what Dave Carton would have drawn up. Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From the Academy to the big leagues, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Just beyond the half-hour mark, 2-0 advantage for Greenville Triumph. 2 goals in the opening 15, but now weathering a bit of a Westchester storm on this muggy night in Westchester County. Bauman is down again. He's taken every boot to the leg imaginable in the last 3 minutes. See, Guzin actually races for this. This is crafty from Chapa Herrera. But then Bauman both ultimately wind up putting the studs to each other's shins. Yellow card ultimately shown to Herrera. It's the first man in the book for Greenville Triumph. Definitely something to watch. That's one of the playmaking number 10s for Greenville and Chapa Herrera. Eventful first for him. A goal and a yellow card to begin things. Sadie. This is Joel Johnson. Followed Dave Carton from Charlotte Independence. As did JC Obregon. Loose touch from Bauman. Nearly reached Obregon in the end. Lee. Overzealous tackle from Bolaños. If you are Dave Carton, you wonder what the team talk will be at intermission, because ultimately it is 2 defensive miscues which see you trailing. And when talking to Dave Carton throughout this year, he's mentioned how he felt early in the season a lot of the miscues were individual mistakes and lapses in concentration, and he felt that they had largely graduated from that. But I think when he evaluates what he's just witnessed in the opening 15, he may feel it's an unwanted return to the old norms that they had presumably put on the back burner. Either way, it is not the dream start for Westchester, but promising responses since. Guzin. May have to do it the hard way, breaking down this Greenville side. Pierre. Bolaños. Always dangerous on the ball, a former Golden playmaker himself in this league with Richmond Kickers. Powder. Space on the far side for Josh Drag. Now looking for Bolaños on the underlap. Options in the area, and he didn't get the cross right. Another positive spell of movement forward for the Golden Apple. Herrera. Entering the final 10 minutes of the initial 45. Westchester throwing the kitchen sink at Greenville, trying to claw one back before intermission. Psychologically, it would definitely change the trajectory of things if they could pull themselves within a goal before the break. Remember, this Westchester side, they know better than most that a 2-goal advantage at this point is by no means ironclad. Of course, they themselves dropped 19 points from winning positions this year, and more egregious of them probably came in their last home league match against AB Alta. Had a 2-0 lead, wound up falling 5-2. So they themselves know that it is by no means insurmountable. One goal can change the entire trajectory of things, as it did from Jerry Desdoon to kickstart that comeback in the late stages of that first half. Guzin. This is Powder. Sadie navigating the challenge decently from Polak. That 3-versus-3 battle on the right side is going to be enthralling to watch over the remainder of the 90 minutes. Bolaños. Drag. Evan Lee. Escorted wide to Evans. Effort deflected perfectly into the path of Castro. Brought down on the edge of the area, and the referee says play on. Luckily the right decision from Elvis Osmanovic. It did not look like much was in that. Here's Noah Powder. Obregon, a rare touch of it for him thus far. Gets it back from Bolaños. Bolaños in space. Obregon again, curling it towards goal. He's not shy about the spectacular, but that curling well off target. 2025 Westchester Soccer Club season tickets are now on sale. Don't miss your chance to be part of our historic inaugural season at Memorial Field in Mount Vernon. Catch all of the action and all of the fun starting at just $18 per game. Tickets are selling fast. Visit westchestersc.com for more information. We rapidly approach the business end of the first half. Greenville still 2 to the good, but Westchester at least showing signs of life. A lot will be defined in these 7 minutes and change to come. A brief talking to between our captains and Elvis Osmanovic. Brandon Fricke, the standout center back for Greenville. JC Obregon Jr., the diminutive striker who already has 11 goals to his name in all competitions this year. Bauman. Sadie managing to keep this in play. Pollock reading it to perfection. And so far winning that matchup between the two number 3s. Evans, the top chance creator in USL League One. Zukowski, early ball in. Jackman off his line and collects with confidence. Well, a lot made about Dane Jackman's up and down season thus far. Of course, loan from Loudoun, has familiarity with Dave Carton. Went on a brief loan spell to Charlotte during Dave Carton's long tenure as an assistant under Mike Jeffries there. Dave always got on with him quite well, raves about his raw abilities, although during a real bout of adversity in the mid to late spring, Dave Carton opting to give Andrew Hammersley a chance and played too well to be dropped for a long period of time. Here's Castro, he's onside. Palma, a challenge that was off the mark, and the referee immediately points to the spot. Get another look here. Palma's definitely wrong-footed, and he gets virtually none of the ball. This is the right decision from our official, and a chance for Greenville to add on a third before intermission. Juan Palma is still irate at the decision, but I think when he watches it back, he may have a hard time pleading his case. A second penalty of this first half, and once again, a quick lapse sees a Westchester defender wrong-footed and sets up a Greenville lad from 12 yards. Of course, there is no VAR in USL, so this cannot be reviewed once the decision is made. And it simply becomes now a debate over who takes this. Chapa Herrera already buried his attempt from the spot. The question is, do they let him go again? As things currently stand, it appears Toby Sims is the man holding the ball. Clearly seeking to make it 3 straight matches with a goal contribution as things stand. You wonder what the chatter is between those two. Simple gamesmanship going on. And he will hand the ball off to a teammate, so he won't take it himself. Instead, it appears to be Rodrigo Robles, who is in hot pursuit of the double so far. It is Robles, already with a goal to his name against Jackman. You feel like a lot hangs on this kick of the ball. The man who scored the opener, looking to polish things off on a 5-star first half performance. And he does, with ferocity. A brace for Robles, a third for Greenville, and they may be all but home free at this point. Sheer first half domination. You see the penalty. It is a late challenge for Palma, who just switches off and pays the price. And then Robles, no mistakes, puts his laces through it, bashing it into the top left corner. 2 on the night for Robles. He's doubled his tally on the season in all competitions. Well, a lot made about Rodrigo Robles, and potentially earlier in the year, missing a lot of glaring opportunities, some sitters that did not break his way. The law of averages has a funny way of working itself out, because he scores a terrific one-on-one finish to open the scoring, and then from 12 yards, nearly creating a ripple in the back of the net. Now looking over the top for Leo Castro. Nearly was able to outwit Bobby Pierre. Well, Robles, the native of Spain, we already discussed his accomplished college career that began at West Virginia and then really culminated into elite performance at James Madison. But prior to that, played in some of the top academies in his native Spain, including Villarreal, for those familiar. A prominent club in La Liga. Also played for Deportivo Alaves before leaving for college. So a lot of elite high-level experience. And it's frankly hard to believe that he didn't find his first pro contract until the midway stages of last year, signed on July 4th of 2024. It's been a key feature ever since up front. A Greenville attack that was quiescent for a large period of time has roared to life in this first half. Particularly difficult to stomach from a Westchester perspective because this Westchester team was starting to make inroads going forward. No clear-cut opportunities on Rankenburg School just yet, but a few half chances and definitely were twisting the screws. Now with 6 minutes of added time of the first half, they've seen that all go for naught because they're 3-0 down. Many would feel that could be the final nail. Sadie. Bauman. Guzin. Spraying this forward towards Bolaños, who does latch onto it. Just runs out of options. Johnson. Clever ball to Guzin. Early cross towards Obregon. Contested that one against the rules of the game, according to Elvis Osmanovic. This is a Greenville Triumph club that has never missed the postseason, and you're beginning to see why. The way they win matches when their backs are against the wall. A side that has made 3 of the first 6 USL League One finals. Made the first 3 at that to begin their tenure of existence. And of course, the champions back in 2020 awarded it for their points per game average that season. It's largely been them and Union Omaha in regular contention for the crown. Although of course this season their battle of the belt rivals, Union Omaha, slumping out of the gates. Johnson. Powder, former Northern Colorado Hailstorm man. This is Obregon. Powder looking for Sadie, who does run onto it. Prince Sadie cutting inside. Opened up his hips too much. He's had promising moments, and the way he picks out space in behind is incredibly intelligent here. You see him try to open his hips up, and he just gets it off what appears to be his toe. He was hoping to get the inside of his boot there and wrap his foot around it. Fan soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. Closing stages of this first half, 3-0 advantage for Greenville Triumph. They strike twice in the opening 15, and then Rodrigo Robles polishing off his brace from the penalty spot in the 43rd after about 15 minutes of Westchester creating the lion's share of the half chances. They switch off once at the back and pay the price again, and ultimately Greenville incredibly opportunistic and definitely the more lethal of the two entities in the final third. throw on the way from Toby Sims. Another quarter of uncertainty. Whistle sounds against Robles and company. Well, surprised, of the two penalties, Leo Castro not attempting either of them. Of course, entering tonight, he had scored half of their league goals. Someone who is tied atop the Golden Boot race at the moment. Flashing some unselfishness, perhaps. Final set piece for Westchester before the first half is history. Can Joel Johnson conjure from this? Flick towards Bauman. Stabbed away towards Zukowski. Guzin. Just losing out to Castro. Likely Westchester's final sojourn forward of the first half. Bolaños turning on the afterburners, and Sims tracks him step for step. Drag. Johnson. Track again. Popping up in all the half spaces. We are beyond the added 6 minutes here in stoppage time. Track getting it back. Just loses the foot race. And that is where we leave things. After 45 minutes, it is Greenville domination. A glut of goals. 3 to be precise for Greenville triumph. They strike twice in the opening 15 minutes through Rodrigo Robles and Chapa Herrera spot kick before Robles doubles his tally and makes it 3-0 from the spot moments before halftime. He is the star man. His first 2 league goals in 2025 helped Greenville establish a massive gap between themselves and their hosts after 45. Well, at halftime, it is Greenville 3 to the good. Westchester with plenty of work to do to salvage anything from this. We will step aside briefly when we return a look around USL League One. Stick with us.
Being healthy means you can do what makes you happy. With the people who make you smile. Health First Insurance plans connect you to care you can trust. For a happy family and a healthy future. With Health First, it's all within your reach.
You expect Manhattan-level care, and you live in Westchester. With Northwell, you'll find it all right here through this store in Terrytown, and this one in Katona, at Phelps Hospital and Northern Westchester Hospital. It's where you'll find a vast network of world-class doctors delivering everything from primary care to the most complex neurosurgery and cancer treatments. And it's all part of New York's most awarded health system, with every door leading to extraordinary care right here in Westchester. Northwell. Raise health.
What makes Westchester different is what makes us strong.
Different towns, different dreams, different journeys.
It's the businesses that fuel our neighborhoods, the families that shape our future. It's the balance of city hustle
and scenic river towns.
It's hard work, ambition, resilience,
The drive to compete and the will to win.
No matter where we come from,
here we are connected by something greater. Like the waters of the Hudson, we move with strength and purpose.
when we play together,
We are unstoppable. Our United by Blue jersey is more than just a uniform. It's a symbol The deep blue represents the rivers that shape our home, while the repeating infinity W pattern speaks to our relentless pursuit of progress. Gold accents remind us of the excellence we strive for, on and off the field. Inside every jersey, the words, "We are Westchester," serve as a reminder whether you wear it on the pitch or in the stands, you are a part of something bigger. When we stand together, we are Westchester.
We welcome you back to Westchester County, where at halftime, Greenville triumphed dominant, a 3-0 advantage over the Golden Apple. Well, Westchester SC had a special guest in the form of CBS Sports Network a few weeks back. How about you take a look at the behind-the-scenes footage of that experience?
I'm Mitch Baruchowicz, the majority owner of Westchester SC. A year and a half ago, I decided it was a perfect place to bring a soccer team. Not gonna run out of beer tonight? All right, cool.
For the back post and headed in!
Westchester's nickname is the Golden Apple, which is on our sleeve. We need to win by being that hyper-local element.
Welcome to Soccer County.
Yonkers, Rye, New Rochelle,
Stanford,
the Bronx, Fairfield,
Mount Vernon,
White Plains, the Bronx, Westchester.
Westchester
is Soccer County.
Is Soccer County.
Is Soccer County.
It is Soccer County.
Is Soccer County. Is Soccer County.
Is Soccer County.
Soccer County.
To Soccer County.
Westchester is a Soccer County.
Westchester is Soccer County.
Westchester is Soccer County indeed, but at halftime, Soccer County won't be pleased with the result on the scoreboard. They trail 3-0 when we return a look.
Wait, come back! Wait, come back, I need more help.
Take a loan off him. Take a loan for free.
Today we went to the beach, and it was totally worth it. Stay 3 nights this summer at Best Western and get $50 off a future stay.
Who wants that smoke? You want that smoke? Look, I ain't playing, I'm saying this ain't a joke. There ain't no bluffing, I'm calling you out for show. It's either all in or nothing, I go for broke. Who wants that smoke?
What makes Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water unique? It's our commitment to making our bottles from at least 50% recycled plastic. In fact, Crystal Geyser is the only beverage company in the U.S. to exclusively own and operate 2 plastic recycling facilities. And you can help us make an impact too by always remembering to recycle your bottles. Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water. Simple, but not easy.
Success doesn't come easy. It takes grit, hustle, and relentless effort. Every step forward brings you closer to greatness. This is your moment. Elevate your game. El Jimador Spiked Bebidas.
Swatted toward goal, a flying start for Charleston Battery at home.
We welcome you back to the stadium at Memorial Field, where at halftime, the home side trailing 3-0 against Greenville triumph in the second ever meeting between these 2 clubs. How about we get a look around USL League One, starting with our news and notes around the league. Athletic Club Boise revealing their name and branding, and now breaking the league record for ticket deposits in its early stages. And then Eduardo Blancas becoming the first ever AV Ultiman to record a hat trick on Saturday against FC Naples. And finally, Greenville winning their first ever contest against a USL Championship club. They defeat Miami FC 2-0 in the Jägermeister Cup. And around USL League One, some standout performances in Week 16. How about a couple familiar faces, 4 to be precise, 2 on the Greenville side, 2 on the Westchester side, with Prince Sadie and Obregon scoring at Madison. Of course, Leo Castro and Toby Sims playing integral roles in the come-from-behind victory in that game against Chattanooga Red Wolves. Ashmir Spengler, the player of the week in Week 16. He was terrific a week and a half ago in his contest. Around the league right now, one other match going on at this current moment. And how about this? A Portland Hearts of Pine side that's really been surging of late, trailing against AV Alta 1-0 in the 67th minute. AV Alta looking to continue their red-hot streak through the early stages of the summer. Around the rest of the league going forward, a bevy of matches in the near future. Of course, Texoma visiting Spokane tonight. And then on Friday, a Jägermeister Cup fixture between FC Naples and Tampa Bay Rowdies in Group 6. The rest of the weekend, League One contests, AV Alta hosting the defending champs in Union, Omaha. It should be a very busy stretch throughout USL League One and the Jägermeister Cup in the weekend ahead. Well, it's now time to get a look at the experience presented by El Jimador Spike Bebidas. It's a video docuseries that shows the history, passion, and community of USL clubs and their supporter groups. The latest episode showcases Ford Madison and their support group, The Flock, and it is available on youtube.com/USL.
The stakes are higher. You know what's on the line.
We're here to support the crest, the club, and the community.
This is what the Henny Derby's all about.
I don't know about other people, but I kind of get goosebumps.
We show up no matter what the weather is. In the snow, 35 degrees.
The club has developed, the team has developed, so has the fan base.
People in this town love this team, pack these stands out for every single game.
Being healthy means you can do what makes you happy. With the people who make you smile. Health First Insurance plans connect you to care you can trust. For a happy family. And a healthy future. With Health First, it's all within your reach.
You expect Manhattan-level care, and you live in Westchester. With Northwell, you'll find it all right here through this store in Terrytown, and this one in Katona, at Phelps Hospital and Northern Westchester Hospital. It's where you'll find a vast network of world-class doctors delivering everything from primary care to the most complex neurosurgery and cancer treatments. And it's all part of New York's most awarded health system, with every door leading to extraordinary care right here in Westchester. Northwell. Raise health.
Our tagline is welcome to Soccer County, not a town. And we want it to be a hub of all the soccer energy throughout the communities of this region.
As a first-year franchise and a club that's new, you know, these are landmarks in the history of the club that you want to really do something memorable.
I think it shows how soccer crazy this area is and how much passion there is about sports and just community in general.
For being a homegrown talent, you know, in my city, it means everything because my family, my friends, all my loved ones come to the game, watch me play, you know, and you know, I'm just try to put on for my city as much as I can.
We welcome you back to Mount Vernon in New York, where at halftime, Westchester SC in a 3-0 hole against Greenville triumph. A brutal first half for the Golden Apple. And speaking of that first half, how about we get a look at our first half highlights, and they will be filled with Greenville highlights. We got off to a start with both teams looking to climb above the playoff cut line. Greenville, of course, with 3 points can do so. And they got off to a flying start. Ben Zakowski threw on goal after a costly giveaway. This is excellent work by Dane Jackman to at least keep Westchester level in the opening stages, but unfortunately for him, there was more where that came from, and in the 9th minute, Rodrigo Robles got us started. It's a loose back pass. He just latches onto it after Jean-Baptiste misreads it, and then puts his laces through it to take it well beyond the reach of Jackman, who is caught in no man's land. A brutal break for Westchester. They dodge the initial bullet. They do not dodge the second. Shoved down by Bobby Pierre. No hesitation, no doubt point to the spot. It sets up Chapa Herrera, who converts with little trouble. It's a Hazard-esque penalty, as we said on the air. A low roller into the bottom right as he waits for the goalkeeper to stay put. Westchester did have some moments. Prince Sadie started to provide them with some hope around the midway point of this first half. The curler that forced Gunther Rankenberg into a difficult stop, but then unfortunately after a spell of Westchester dominance, caught out again. Juan Palma wrong-footed, a late challenge in which he does not get much of the ball, and immediately a penalty sets up Rodrigo Robles, who adds a second on the day. No mistakes in the top left corner. Jackman doesn't guess the right way, but even if he did, he likely is not getting there. A clinical half from Rodrigo Robles. A brace that sees Greenville 3-0 in front, and the numbers really tell the full story. An 8-5 shots advantage. 6 of Greenville's 8 shots are on target. A team that has struggled to turn possession and box touches into clear-cut opportunities has done so tonight, despite being vastly outpossessed. A 69-31 split in favor of Westchester, but those touches have led to very little in the final third for the Golden Apple. We are just about set to get things back underway. It will be Greenville to get us back going from left to right, Westchester going right to left. Well, the question is, will this be routine for Greenville, or will Westchester add some twist to the tails? We will find out over the next 45 minutes and change. We welcome you back into the stadium at Memorial Field. I'm Sam Goldfarb. It was the first half in which Greenville got off to the flying start, forced Westchester to play catch-up, and then unlocked them a third time for good measure before the break. And barring a colossal collapse, this Greenville side would climb above the playoff line as things currently stand. They'd have to await the result of Spokane and Texoma tonight to confirm their place in the top 8. This would go a long way to pushing them back into the playoff places after their prolonged winless rut in league play that lasted over 2 months, came to a conclusion in late June. We've mentioned for Greenville the story for so long throughout this year. Despite bossing possession, it was a story of not turning box touches into clear-cut chances. A side that leads the league in shots, led the league in box touches entering last match week as well. But unfortunately for them, turned it into rather few shots on target. 4 changes total. Rashid Teta replacing Daniel Bauman. Prince Sadie is out for Ermin Makic. 2 changes there, and then Evan Lee replaced by Michael Gonzalez for Greenville Triumph. Carlos Anguiano in for Rodrigo Robles, who does not have an opportunity to chase his hat trick. All the substitutions presented by Benjamin Steakhouse, always a prime choice. Interesting alterations, to say the least. For Westchester, giving some of their younger lads a shot like Makic. As Guzin picks this up in the heart of midfield. Trying from afar. Not far off. Not able to test Rankenberg either. Meanwhile, for Greenville, pretty like for like, if you will. As you get another look at Guzin, he just picks this up, takes off in midfield. No one closes him down, and Rankenberg and company rather fortunate that he did not put this on target. There is your look at the Dutchman, joining from the Polish second tier this offseason. There is a heavy Dutch contingent, or players of Dutch descent, in this Westchester SC squad. Of course, the likes of Bauman, who was on the pitch previously, haven't seen Kohn Blumstein in a matter of months due to nagging injury issues, but he also has played in some prominent academies in the Netherlands. There's a curl into the box. Zikowski dancing away from Teta, stabbed away by Pierre. Of course, Ermin Makic, who is a native of Yonkers, New York, actually played in the Montenegrin second tier prior to this season. So a lot of players who have made their trade in European football previously. Of course, the story for Westchester, as it has been with their defense, it's never truly having a fully fit squad. Without the likes of Kemar Lawrence and a few others early in the year, and as the season has gone on, the likes of some of those very talented Dutchmen that we just mentioned have been in and out of the squad. Blumstein is the prime example of that. Becomes the ultimate question mark. If and when Westchester can get a critical mass of their key contributors healthy at the right time, it feels like they can still make a run. Here's Bolaños, his cross to Obregon! An excellent stop from Rankenberg at full extension. And there is the best chance of the match thus far for Westchester. First time we've seen Obregon truly get free in the box. It will be caution to the wind from here on out from the Golden Apple. It's a great cross, slightly deflected. Obregon places this perfectly, but Rankenberg does just enough to use his massive frame to get to it. A pair of excellent stops since Greenville went 2 to the good to keep Westchester at bay. Man, already with 2 league clean sheets, he seems rather motivated to get a third. Needed every inch of his 6'3" frame to make that save. Guzin. Drac. Hurling it towards the back stick. Pollock ushering it out of play. Fans can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights. Plus hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the new Sirius XM app. Just beyond the 50-minute threshold, 3-0 advantage for Greenville over Westchester, but Westchester just procuring their best chance of the match moments ago. You wonder what an early goal in the second half could do for their psyche. If you have any hope of kick-starting a comeback, you likely have to score as early as possible. Here's a ball towards Guzin to the byline. An awkward deflection, and it takes it out for a Westchester corner. He's been a game changer here since the resumption of play. Team Guzin wreaking havoc in the center of the park, floating wide as a true number 10 can and should do. You see him starting to pull Greenville out of position. Within swing from Johnson, and that is routine from Rankenberg. He has hardly put a foot wrong so far. Rarely tested, but always up for the test his way. Now this is over the top to Gonzalez. Jackaman way off his line. A much-needed intervention from Powder. Jackaman taking a massive gamble, but Powder had his back. Unbelievable ball. And this is a clever touch from Gonzalez. Perhaps takes him just a couple steps wide, and that is what buys Powder the time to recover. But either way, Noah Powder making an excellent defensive intervention. This corner taken short. Zikowski. Carlitos Anquiano. Herrera's effort stymied at the source. every time Westchester provides that burst forward, you've seen their vulnerability exploited at the back. It's a bit of Route 1 football from Greenville, but holding on to the 3-0 lead, they can afford to do that, and Westchester has struggled to cope with it on a number of occasions thus far. Progressive pass towards Bolaños. Guzin. Obregon. Crafty flick. Really got it back from Makic. Bolaños just ran out of real estate. When you look ahead for Greenville triumph, a result of this magnitude cannot be understated. Of course, 2 road trips to very difficult places. Breese Stevens Field against a desperate Madison side, and then Portland next week, which is never an easy place to play. So to get a 3rd consecutive victory ahead of those stretches would be monumental. Still plenty of work to be done here, but it would take a massive meltdown for Greenville to see this unravel. Drac receiving this back though, chopping it towards the back post. Bolaños is down, and it does go for a corner. Powder will take. He's one of the more dynamic chance creators on this Westchester squad. Still top 10 in the league in chances created, despite not playing the last 5 matches across all comps prior to his return in the second half against Pittsburgh last week. Hooks it in within swing. Dangerous ball towards Obregon. Just couldn't high point it. It is cleared only as far as Guzin. We approach the hour mark. It is Greenville still 3 to the good, despite Westchester's best efforts. As Castro gives chase to this. Pressure back to Jacobin. Brace from Rodrigo Robles, sandwiching a penalty kick from Chapa Herrera. Sees Triumph comfortably in control at the moment. Although Juan Carlos Obregon Jr. did have a header that was scraped away from the goal line by Gunther Rankenberg moments ago. This is Michael Gonzalez, the former Monterey Bay man. Up down in the area, and the referee will book him for simulation. I guess you can't fault him. They've won 2 penalties tonight. This was incredibly soft contact, though. See Gonzalez here. Does beat his defender, but he's hunting contact there, and it is textbook simulation. A wry smile after the fact. Another addition to this squad with plenty of intrigue in the offseason. 24 years old, Michael Gonzalez. Exceptional in his time in college, be it with Sacramento State, as well as his lone year at Fresno City College, where he won the state championship. An up and down year at Monterey Bay. This season slightly hampered by hamstring injuries, but he is now in the side. And speaking of lads looking to revitalize their goal-scoring record, how about Ropapa Mensah entering the fray? One of the top goal scorers in recent League One history. during his time with Chattanooga Red Wolves, but struggling to translate that into his new stop with Greenville. During his 2 years with Chattanooga Red Wolves, Rapapa Mensah scored 21 goals. He was top 10 in USL League One in goals both years, scored a number of really meaningful tallies during his time in Chattanooga, but unable to crack the postseason in either year with Chattanooga Red Wolves. They fell just shy of it in 2024. Boasts plenty of talent, plenty of finishing ability in those boots, and despite an up and down year with Greenville thus far, there are hopes that he can add another dimension to this attack when all is said and done. Fans catch every heart-pounding moment at Westchester's home stadium at Memorial Field in Mount Vernon. 2025 season tickets are on sale now, offering flexible payment plans, priority access, discounts, invites to exclusive events, and much more. Don't miss out on an unforgettable season of fun, friends, community, and soccer. Visit westchestersc.com to become a 2025 season ticket member today. Just shy of the hour mark, still 3-0 in favor of Greenville triumph. Now beginning to experiment with different personnel combinations are both sides. Obregon had Westchester's best chance of the match about 10 minutes ago. And now a set piece for the Golden Apple. They have 30 minutes to pull off what would be the comeback of their season. The question is, can they kickstart it with anything in the next few minutes or so? Otherwise, a resounding Greenville victory looks all but surefire. It's Johnson and Guzin in the immediate vicinity. Guzin to take toward the back post, stabbed away by Mensah. And Guzin brought down on the edge of the area. Well, it's crafty. It's Makic who ultimately takes the contact. And this is an attractive position for a set piece. You see Herrera mistime his jump. Makic times it right. And I tell you what, Greenville and Chapa Herrera rather fortunate Makic wasn't 2 steps inside the area. Instead, this is a decent angle, but one you have to get up and down rather quickly. Drac and Obregon. This likely favors the right boot of J.C. Obregon Jr. Giant wall for Greenville. It is Obregon who takes and nearly picked out the bottom right. The second time Rankenberg has been forced into action against Obregon, and this save better than the first, arguably. Question is, was that destined for the bottom right? It appeared it was. What a stop that is from Rankenberg. Now Guzin takes this corner. Falls for Drac. Trying from afar. It's spilled by Rankenberg and shuffled away by Brandon Fricke in the end. Well, what a performance from Rankenberg. It's going to take something rather special to beat him tonight. 2 colossal stops in the bottom right to deny Obregon. He is playing with a different level of confidence at the moment. Of course, just one goal conceded in the previous 2 matches, kept a clean sheet against the championship club on Saturday. Actually, that was not Rankenberg, that was Torman, but Rankenberg was also pretty sound in some of his earlier Jägermeister Cup performances. Had that 5-save clean sheet against Charleston Battery in their Jägermeister Cup victory. The headline performance of his campaign so far. This might be able to hold a candle to that, though. Plenty to think about for Dave Carton and company. It's been a performance in which his side has shown their attacking prowess going forward, but defensively exploited when they've least expected it. Zakowski hooking this in. It's an inviting ball. It is one that should result in a Greenville corner, and it does. These are difficult to contend with. It's dipping towards you. As a goalkeeper, you don't want to overcommit. Jackman stays rooted. Ultimately, Palma just nods it out of play for safety. To set up Greenville with a rare corner so far. Very few of these tonight. With in-swing. Towards Mensah at the back stick. Falls for Bolaños. Has some room to roam. And a clever touch from Obregon. It's a cynical foul, and it's one that will surely yield the Greenville player a yellow, and that it does. He knows exactly what he's doing here. Toby Sims sees Obregon off and running and says, I'll take the yellow card and stop this break. As of now, it appears they're crediting it to Fricke. It is Brandon Fricke who's announced over the loudspeaker. Johnson. Guzin. Moments of magic in this second half. Has yet to produce any final product in terms of goal scoring, though. Obregon. At this point, if you're Greenville, every time you have it, you might as well knock it upfield because Westchester is stretched whenever they lose it. They're in a position where they have to chase with reckless abandon. I think he'll be quite pleased with what he's seen. His squad exploding for multiple goals for the 3rd consecutive match. It's the first time that's happened all season in a 3-match span. And after the aforementioned ups and downs, his side in line to end the night in the top 8. Zakowski. Floated away. Only as far as Anguiano. Zakowski again. He's a lightning rod on that right side. Herrera. Lone goal scorer for Greenville that remains on the pitch. A bit of extracurriculars here, and it involves Juan Carlos Obregon Jr. Himself and Chapa Herrera with a vocal disagreement. Well, Herrera may have just been dealt a second yellow, and that he was. So out of thin air, Chapa Herrera sent off with 20 minutes to play. And you wonder how this changes the complexion of things. Just before the Greenville set piece, Herrera in the midst of a number of blue shirts. He's sent packing for an early shower with 20 to go. May just be what the doctor ordered for Westchester at the moment. Just appeared to lose his temper, and he paid the price oh so dearly. Puts the ball in. Flick on header to Mensah. Driving it towards goal, and right into the gloves of Dane Jackman. Here's another look at what inspired Elvis Osmanovic to produce the second yellow. Clearly displeased with the decision, and he talked back. And it is the second yellow for dissent that sees him sent off with 20 to play. Rick Wright also booked for his reaction to the second yellow. Didn't appear to be much in the actual interaction body language-wise, but clearly whatever Chapa Herrera said crossed the line for Elvis Osmanovic. For a Westchester side that has been dealt a number of second yellow cards that have been deemed rather soft, they'll feel that that's an interesting twist of fate. As Brian Vasquez, the 19-year-old, replaces Juan Palma, and suddenly Westchester finds themselves going for this with an attack-minded alteration. That substitution presented by Benjamin Steakhouse, always a prime choice. For those joining us, yes, Greenville is 3-0 up. They are also down to 10. Chapa Herrera sent off moments ago with a second yellow card. And for a Westchester side that has flashed some very bright moments going forward in this second half, that will be seen as at least some degree of renewed hope. Bolaños beats his defender down in the area. Referee waves away any appeals for penalty. Johnson now falls rather kindly to Anguiano. There's the 19-year-old Vasquez. It is his first league appearance of his career, has only featured in US Open Cup and Jägermeister Cup play. A former FC Cincinnati Academy product. Guzin. Can Westchester procure a roadmap back into this? Vasquez. There's Drac. Step deflected by Sims. Zakowski. Well, that is rather clever. Mensah looking back for Zakowski. Jackman way off his line and does win the foot race. been some special moment for Ben Zakowski if it came off. It becomes about gamesmanship and match management now for Greenville. Need to know when to burn seconds without putting themselves at risk for yellows. Need to knock it around a bit even with 10. Perhaps even find that fourth for good measure. eFootball is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. We approach the final 15 minutes from the stadium at Memorial Field. Sam Goldfarb bringing you all of the action. Greenville has controlled this effectively wire to wire. A 3-0 advantage, but down to 10 men after Chapa Herrera sent off moments ago with a second yellow for dissent. And it at least has provided some semblance of new life to a Westchester side that appeared deflated at times. Obregon. Shuffled wide to Drac. Makic. Threading it through to Obregon. Looking for powder in a tight space. Here's Vasquez. You wonder if one goal would open the floodgates. Problem is for Westchester, Rankenberg's been effectively unbeatable between the sticks. It's denied Obregon twice from close range. One save better than the next. Drac inviting cross. Falls for Obregon. No trouble for Rankenberg there. Fans, don't miss your chance to be part of history with Westchester's first professional soccer club. Season tickets start at just $18 per game, bringing you world-class action at an unbeatable value. Visit westchestersc.com to learn more and lock in your seat for the 2025 season. 2025 Westchester SC season tickets are on sale now. Gonzalez onto this. Perhaps a chance brewing for Greenville. Zakowski. Curling inside. Right at Jackaman. Oddly enough tonight for Greenville, everything's been the inverse. A team that has been on the back foot despite being a possession-oriented side, has taken its chances with incision and clinical finishing, something that hasn't necessarily been on full display this year. And a team that is known for producing headed goals has not required a single set piece or headed goal to produce any of those tallies. 2 penalties, and then of course the goal from open play after the giveaway. You could argue all 3 goals, at least in some part, preventable by Westchester, but you take what you can get, and Greenville has capitalized on every opportunity that has come its way. Set piece here for Guzin and company. Driving it low. He does pick out Obregon. Another quality stop from Rankenberg, this time with his boots. It's been that kind of night. Goalkeeper in a different level, and now Gonzalez working his way through. He picks out Ropapa Mensah. Jackaman equal to it, and denying Mensah his first Greenville goal. End-to-end action as Westchester chases this. Mensah has scored once prior. That would have been his first league goal in Greenville colors. Obregon. Shrugged off it by Polak, and another set piece going Westchester's way. Brian Vasquez, the El Salvadoran Youth International. Bolaños weaving his way through traffic. Sims recovering well enough. And out for a goal kick. How about this most recent sequence? Chances on both ends of the pitch. Rankenberg denying Obregon. And then, of course, Jackaman keeping Mensa off the league score sheet for Greenville. It all starts with the set piece. It's a crafty training ground routine. Obregon does so well to shrug Zukowski off this and forces Rankenberg into a rather decent stop. Then on the other end, Gonzalez doing well to thread it through to Mensa. Jackaman a strong palm to deny him his first league goal in Greenville colors. Now Mensa is slow to get up. Part of the reason why he hasn't been able to hit a rhythm has been prolonged absences. He had missed the last 5 matches in all competitions prior to tonight. But good to see he's up and moving again. Gonzalez. This is Connor Evans, always pulling the strings as that deep-lying center mid. Drag. Fans, 2025 Westchester Soccer Club season tickets are now on sale. Don't miss your chance to be part of our historic inaugural season at Memorial Field in Mount Vernon. Catch all of the action and all of the fun starting at just $18 per game. Tickets are selling fast. Visit westchestersc.com for more information. One change for Greenville Triumph. Ben Zukowski exits. He is replaced by Zeke Soto, the 18-year-old loanee from Charleston Battery. That substitution presented by Benjamin Steakhouse, always a prime choice. Soto already 1 goal to his name in league play. Scored it to polish off the victory against Chattanooga Red Wolves on June 21st. It was a rather cathartic goal because it opened his account in the USL ranks, as well as closed that prolonged league winless rut for Greenville. Powder. Guzin thinking it forward. Doesn't quite reach Vasquez. We are well inside the final 10 minutes from the stadium at Memorial Field. The Greenville 3-0 halftime lead has persisted despite a bevy of chances from Juan Carlos Obregon Jr. in the second half. Gunther Rankenberg denying him twice from close range and a third time for good measure. Has been a second yellow shown to Chapa Herrera, but despite that, Westchester has yet to break through what has been a brick wall between the sticks for Greenville Triumph. Solid goalkeeping play the last 2 games. Seth Torman similarly tough to beat on Saturday in the clean sheet against Miami. Made 7 saves in that contest. Obregon. Guzin. Not quite on the same wavelength as Josh Drag. For Greenville, we have mentioned the difficult stretch coming up. 3 of the next 5 away from home, the next 2 in very hostile environments, Breese Stevens Field and Fitzpatrick Stadium. And then after hosting Richmond in a match that always is competitive, if you don't believe me, see the 3-3 game on May 2nd. They host Naples in a potential Group 6 decider in Jägermeister Cup play on July 26th. Of course, Greenville could become the only League One team to progress out of the group stage in Jägermeister Cup play, depending on how the wild card standings shake out. Naples, of course, also lingering within striking distance as well. Both teams defeating Charleston Battery, a squad off to a historic start in USL Championship. In the Jägermeister Cup, though, Battery struggling uncharacteristically. Here's Guzin. Can't quite reach Vasquez. Comes out to Carlitos Anguiano. He was slow to return to his feet after that challenge from Obregon. One more changes for Westchester, and it is a league debut for Samuel Greenberg. He replaces Joel Johnson in the center of midfield. The 17-year-old Westchester SC Academy product making his professional debut in USL League One action for Westchester SC. A big congratulations to the kid. Rising senior in high school as well, so coping with his studies and playing now professional football. It is his first league appearance and first professional appearance. He has been on the bench twice against one Knoxville and AV Alta. This is the first time he has featured in the closing stages of this USL League One clash. It's all part of the developmental system. Many of these new clubs, such as Westchester, even AV Alta as well, very well known for promoting young players through their academy ranks. It's about building an academy, establishing ties with the local community, and building a group of players who dream about playing for these new clubs. Samuel Greenberg, one of the first to make that dream come true. That substitution presented by Benjamin Steakhouse, always a prime choice. Ball over the top to Mensah. Still hunting that first league goal in Greenville colors. Gonzalez working on Greenberg. Polak, Evans. Fans, the USL Championship and League One are on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN+. Go to USLChampionship.com or USLLeague1.com for the complete USL TV listings. One final change for Greenville Triumph. DJ Benton into the fray for Toby Sims. As Greenville looks to shore this up, DJ Benton, of course, a former USL League One winner during his time with North Carolina FC in 2023. They won in thrilling fashion on spot kicks after finishing 1-1 against Dogwood Derby rivals Charlotte Independence after the 120 minutes. Vasquez. Inside the final 2 minutes of the initial 90. And it all seems academic at this point. Westchester in line to drop another 6-pointer in their quest to make up ground in the playoff hunt. A side that entering the year would have expected to be in the thick of contention, especially considering the sheer number of accomplished USL Championship, even former MLS presences they brought into the fold. But a combination of injuries and defensive woes has prevented things from coming off just yet for Dave Carton's bunch. And tonight, couldn't replicate the resilience they flashed at Bree Stevens Field a few weeks back. Guzin gets one final chance to supply some service here. Hooking it in, it's dangerous. Comes out rather routinely to Michael Gonzalez. When you look ahead with what Westchester has in store, things don't get much easier by any means. A trip to Naples in 10 days' time. They have 10 days to recuperate and try to decipher what went wrong in this one. And then 4 nights later, a matchup with Spokane at Memorial Field, the current league leaders, as it is 3 minutes that separate us from the final whistle here in Westchester County. 3 matches in 7 days. At Naples, against Spokane, and then at Knoxville. 3 teams that are all competing for top 4 spots at the moment in USL League One. They get to finish off their Jägermeister Cup contest against Detroit. They're already eliminated from that competition after dropping the first 3. So it will be a rather busy stretch for Westchester after these 10 days off. They will be desperately looking for answers to quell some of their defensive struggles. Benton sent flying. If this result holds, which it appears it will, Greenville will climb into the top 8 at 8th place. Of course, they will wait on the Texoma Spokane result later tonight. But they have a vastly superior goal difference to Texoma, as well as the same number of wins, as Rick Wright beginning to oversee a positive run here as his side inches towards the playoff line once again. It is a Greenville Triumph team that had missed a USL match, I should say, once. Been mainstays in the semifinals throughout their accomplished existence. Here's a progressive ball towards Vasquez, and Rankenberg clearly motivated by the prospect of a 3rd clean sheet in league play. Obregon. Guzin sprays wide. Chance for something to smile about for the home crowd. Guzin, space to uncork. Was worth a pop, but once again, no trouble for Rankenberg. And there is the full-time whistle. Greenville dominance in the first half powers them to a 3-0 victory and a 3rd consecutive victory in all competitions. Triumph now surge into the top 8 of the USL League One standings as things currently stand. They will wait on the Texoma result against Spokane later tonight to potentially confirm their spot in the playoff places. It's now time to take a look at our standout performer, and it's none other than Gunther Rankenberg, who anchored a third clean sheet in league play, and look at all of the sensational stops he was able to make, many of which came in the second half. You see Obregon denied twice from close range, trying to pick out that bottom right corner, and Rankenberg reading it to perfection every time. How about denying him a third time for good measure? A bevy of saves in his best performance of the season. He is our man of the match this evening. Well, things finished 3-0 to Greenville tonight. Westchester suffering another devastating defeat in league play. They are now 5 points adrift from the playoff places. Stick with us when we return to look back at the 90 minutes that just transpired.
You expect Manhattan-level care, and you live in Westchester. With Northwell, you'll find it all right here through this store in Terrytown, and this one in Katona, at Phelps Hospital and Northern Westchester Hospital. It's where you'll find a vast network of world-class doctors delivering everything from primary care to the most complex neurosurgery and cancer treatments. And it's all part of New York's most awarded health system, with every door leading to extraordinary care right here in Westchester. Northwell. Raise health.
Being healthy means you can do what makes you happy. With the people who make you smile. Health First insurance plans connect you to care you can trust. For a happy family and a healthy future. With Health First, it's all within your reach.
What makes Westchester different is what makes us strong. Different towns, different dreams, different journeys. It's the businesses that fuel our neighborhoods, the families that shape our future. It's the balance of city hustle and scenic river towns. It's hard work, ambition, resilience, the drive to compete, and the will to win. No matter where we come from, here we are connected by something greater. Like the waters of the Hudson, we move with strength and purpose. When we play together, we are unstoppable. Our United by Blue jersey is more than just a uniform. It's a symbol. The deep blue represents the rivers that shape our home, while the repeating Infinity W pattern speaks to our relentless pursuit of progress. Gold accents remind us of the excellence we strive for, on and off the field. Inside every jersey, the words, "We are Westchester," serve as a reminder whether you wear it on the pitch or in the stands. You are a part of something bigger. When we stand together, we are Westchester.
We welcome you back to Westchester County, where Greenville Triumph notches a resounding 3-0 victory against Westchester SC to move above the playoff line. Rick Wright and company in a terrific vein of form. Time to take a look at our full-time highlights. Two sides desperate to get 3 points in the playoff chase, and Greenville got off to a flying start. A Westchester costly back pass from Noah Powder, misread by Andrew Jean-Baptiste, and Rodrigo Robles off to the races from there. Puts his laces through it, cannoning it into the back of the net to put Greenville in front 1-0. And from there, it went from bad to worse for the home side. 5 minutes later, giving away a penalty after another costly giveaway. Bobby Pierre clattering into the back of Robles. Chapa Herrera, a simple hop, skip, and a roll into the bottom right. And from there, it was all Greenville. Westchester did push on and create some major opportunities, but Gunther Rankenberg equal to everything. This terrific full extension stop to deny Prince Sadie, and then in the 40th minute, a second penalty pretty much wrapped things up for Greenville. Palma missing the ball, sets up Robles from the spot, who polishes off his brace to make it 3-0 before intermission. Westchester did show signs of life after the break, though. They've called Gunther Rankenberg into action on a number of occasions. Juan Carlos Obregon Jr. denied twice, trying to pick out the same bottom right corner. 13 minutes later from a free kick, deja vu all over again. Rankenberg does just enough to force it wide. He was the standout performer in the match for Greenville. There was a late twist to the tale. Chapa Herrera got into a bit of an argument with our lead official Elvis Osmanovic, and having already been shown the yellow, he was shown a second and giving his marching orders. But unfortunately for Westchester, unable to parlay that man advantage into many more chances. They had this opportunity from about 7-8 yards. That was an excellent stop from Rankenberg, and then immediately the other way, Ropapa Mensah missing out on a massive chance to make it 4 and score his first in league play for Greenville. Fortunately, though, for Westchester, it stayed at just 3. Here's your look at how this impacts the USL League One table. Westchester currently 2 points off the cellar. Meanwhile, Greenville triumph now into the top 8. They will await the result of Spokane and Texoma to determine whether they stay there at the end of tonight's proceedings. Either way, massive result for Greenville to put themselves right back in the thick of the playoff chase. Well, for all of our terrific crew here in Westchester County, we say so long. It finishes Greenville in dominant 3-0 fashion. They climb into the top 8. Westchester still searching for answers. I'm Sam Goldfarb. I say so long. Have a great rest of your night, everyone. From Westchester, it finishes Greenville 3, Westchester 0.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.